afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 on Holotny Ferma. Picture the setting. It's Europe, or Eastern Europe specifically, obviously, 1944. Somewhere in the Caucasus, possibly. In the east, we got Aimstrong fighting here for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin, and the 3rd Tank Corps. Versus in the west, we got Jesulin fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Fighting here for the 8th Panzer Division, with Jaeger Infantry, Mobile Defense, and Lightning War versus Guard Rifle, Guard Motor, and Armored Assault Tactics here from Aimstrong, with Infantry Machine Bullets for Jesulin, Piontuber, Satchel, and Guard Bullets in here for Aimstrong, with the Triple Engineer start, with a special rocket command here indicating likely a sniper and penal troopers using the heavy engineer start, so that way offset the usual sort of loss in territory you'd suffer from this. Of course, the engineers won't be quite well suited to fighting grenadiers, but he's basically banking on being able to sweep through the south fast as Aimstrong sends most forces northwards, so this he's not anticipating, say, Jesulin going in very aggressively, which, you know, is rather standard stuff. I mean, most players will not usually within the first few minutes of the save. They might rush your cut-off point, so I mean, it's obviously a very sort of good gamble here from Aimstrong. I think a good intuitive understanding of the game, and wow, that is quite some wiring off there. You usually don't see the wire happening like that. Guessing there's some sort of purpose to it from Aimstrong. There we go. Penalty was on Straffney. Of course, Triple Engineers also don't quite feel as bad for the Soviets long term, though, if they can get up a bunch of flamethrowers, which tend to be quite wondrous versus the Wehrmacht. MG4 setting up, preventing from pushing up with Engineers there. And going straight for the cutoff point. And there goes shots fired against Engineers. First penalty was squad out here for Aimstrong. He northwards. Nope, sweeps westwards instead. Shots fired here, Engineers versus Engineers quickly falling back. Petrov falls first, shot on the back. And the South Engineers going up. I mean, so far, though, Armstrong's getting a nice check on the map here versus Jesulin. We'll see how this works out in machine gun repositioning. Engineers firing off the entrance there to the church, and they're going suppressed. Aimstrong veers off the penal troops in the south west. Grenadiers versus Engineers. Engineers pretty much stand no chance. Aimstrong very wisely falls back, though he might still try and grab some territory, which could be a really pretty risky venture here since the Engineers are low on health. And lastly, easy target to the Engineers with stasis welcome, which he technically already has. There we go, more penals on the way there, but there's a good likelihood of losing the Engineers here. But there you go, looks like he's trying to buy time for the Engineers and the penals was caught to counter-attack here, rather both maneuvered there by Aimstrong. But the gambit seems to have mostly paid off, though. Jesulin here strikes for the car front, realising to an extent what Aimstrong is doing. He realises the centre car front is most likely vulnerable, and there you go, Engineers could still get wiped. Very likely they're going, yep, dead. They'd have lost their Aimstrong. Jesulin saw right through his manoeuvres and just punched him right in the nose to show he saw through his bluff. Very nice move there by Jesulin. Then we got penals with the counter-attacking the Grenadiers. Quite a bit of a nasty engagement. Penals trying to flank up here. Oh no, he needs to get into the heavy cover. The heavy cover. Sikabliot. No. Oh, he actually pulls it off. He actually managed to run past the machine gun and into the house. Good God, the balls on Aimstrong. I wouldn't have done that. I would just stuck to the heavy cover there, but he actually ran for the house and he actually managed it. That is insane. Third penalty, well, I guess it fits up with his initial tile there anyways. Third penalty was going the way there for Aimstrong. With triple grenades and MG4 pioneers there for Jesulin. There might be a take up here soon enough. Yes, indeed. Just need to make a nice company up. Those pioneers have been a bit isolated here from the rest of the force. These units just need to retreat. Still hard at work there, disrupting Jesulin's economy here, hitting calf points and other such things. Trying to gain a fuel advantage with Jesulin, so of course it's a very, very solid strategy. Penals with their need to retreat. Back here we have Engineers ready to build up something there if he wants to. Supporting company could theoretically be an option, though the tank come out, probably the best choice there, just fast putting up something. Firing the flamethrower as he vaults over the fence. I'd say Ivan is getting a bit bold in his manoeuvres. Look what I can do. Stop firing it while we're vaulting, you idiots. You could burn us alive. Almost got the Engineers need to retreat very soon. I think they don't stand much of a chance long term. It'd be a shame and a waste of another engineer squad plus the flamethrower there for Aimstrong. So he's definitely playing aggressively, but at times it does feel like he's playing a bit recklessly versus Jesulin. But he's still gaining a nice chunk of the map. He is pushing it aggressively. We got medics up there for Aimstrong. No tech yet. As for Jesulin, we got the like to make a nice company. They'll probably result either in a fast 2-2 or a flamethrower half tech here to put some pressure on Aimstrong's penal troopers. Bit of movement here. Penal troopers repositioning. Penal troopers aggressively proceeding into heavy cover. They're going to just moving up and there. Go half track on the way there for Jesulin. It's going to be the flamethrower half track. That's going to be quite unpleasant there for Aimstrong. Lacks any immediate counters. I mean, you can go for into tank rifle to help deal with it. And then to tank satchel charge, for example, could well have quite an impact. There you go, being suppressed by the fuel point. Still, he managed to render neutral, slowing down Jesulin's set for a bit there. Very good. Comes to the falling gaps. We have Pioneers with the flamethrowers. Good attack there. Sticking as close to cover before the unleash of the fire. Forcing back the penalty home very much hugging the heavy cover. And he just needs to retreat there. I mean, this alone health, anything could really kill them. Mines up there though. I believe Jesulin has spotted this, so it's not going to be quite as effective there unless he forgets about them. Or weren't paying attention in the first place. Back here though, engineer's good to go. Tank by tank command up as well. That's going to be absolutely necessary as the flame for half track. I mean, he doesn't know about it yet. He doesn't ever see armored assault chosen, so he doesn't see a really interested would have told him a half track. Then, of course, in most cases that means a flame for a half track. Few players generally tend to go for the regular half track when it comes to that one. There we go. Teams there being pushed back by the half track, almost upgraded. There we go. Self-propelled barbecue. Spewing fire there and the retreating Russian troops. Ah, нет, it's like my nightmares. It hurts. And the south point secured there. Mines up here as well. Very good. He's sort of trying to protect his areas there in the southeast. Tank to tank command up as well. He can go for T-70 very, very shortly. And I imagine he's just going to go for that. There we go. Sharp response. We've also got a single pair of anti-tank rifles up here for Aimstrong. He probably doesn't want to go for any further here. At least not initially. As the game progresses, he might consider a few more anti-tank rifles here versus in Jesulin. Big 2 points, but there's a small lead for Aimstrong on Jesulin for now. Small, but still notable. Bunker up there for Jesulin, provide healing for his troops. More monster in this case right under Jesulin's nose. Didn't quite pay off him. We got lots of fire here as the Pioneers being gunned down and shot at and burned. Needing to fall back. We also got a mine there. Very good spot. Overall, a lot of good mines there from, I think, Aimstrong. And the T-70 arrives. A self-propelled little murder vehicle here ready to put some pressure on Jesulin, who has no serious counters to it. Third tank call ready to destroy the fascists. Push for the north though. We got Jesulin here with machine gun ready in ambush. They can't see this far. It only has a certain amount of limited sight, so long as it does get up close to the victory point, but there's also a bit of light outside around it. He's not going to get shot there, so pretty good there for him. And there you go, Pioneers being wrapped out here by the Pioneers of the T-70, I mean, not the other way around. That was a bit awkward there. Almost got them there. We got a full wipe on Jesulin's Pioneers. Quite a loss. It's showing the manpower gone, plus the minesweeper, which leaves us more vulnerable until it replaces it to Aimstrong's mines. And we also got here mobile defense for Jesulin, Pumas, and the likes. They're ready for him. Jesulin is, Aimstrong is going to get to go for doctrine here. And people just need to retreat. They're pinned down to the ground and they're not having a fun time. T-70 Grenadiers here. Getting some good damage here for the motherland. Penal troops heading southwards there, and here troops healing reinforcing. Knees ready for Aimstrong. And the Puma's out here for Jesulin to help counter the T-70 light tank. Tends to be sort of a very common response there from the Wehrmacht in a lot of cases. Tends to do the job better than the Pak-40, since the Pak-40 requires you to actually have a good chance of predicting when the T-70 can still be easily escape, whereas the Puma can effectively pursue. The T-70 can also react to it much better, so increasingly for a lot of Wehrmacht players, the Puma sort of is where they tend to go if they're not quite prepared, rather than trying to go for the Pak-40. A replacement pioneers, and we got the first guard squad out here for Aimstrong, and Magnus is going to be the first of only numerous. Bit off though before you get the munitions off for the light machine guns, and there you go, just retreating there before getting murdered. Actually, he ended up killing one of his own with a rifle grenade. Heinz, ja, so raschen sitze, ja. There we go, Pioneer Squad, I'm trying a bit of trouble. We got the T7 ring, almost got wiped, but there you go, Puma to the rescue, 50mm gun, pierces the armor of the T7 light tank, sending the fear of the fatherland into the crew. Push southwards there, hitting the car front, very good move there by Jesulin, good at keeping out the pressure versus Aimstrong. And for that matter, punishing him when he realises the car front is exposed. Aimstrong, though, very swift moves into the contact force, got the Puma here firing at max range, providing carrying fire for the grenadiers, and also, ensuring he doesn't push too far ahead, in which case he could end up in some nasty situations. He knows Aimstrong's got mines down. If Puma gets hit and hits a mine, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Since A, the Puma goes down, and B, then has no counter to the T-70. Jesulin following up here with another MD-42, realising that Aimstrong is committing to a lot of infantry and other machine gun here. I think that was a very good read by Jesulin. It's going to make it harder there for Aimstrong just to move about on the field freely. It's going to make it easier for Jesulin to lock down certain parts in particular very nicely. Of course, the T-70 remains an issue here for the machine guns, though of course that is where the Puma sort of supposedly does some work. Perhaps that's what wasn't popping in the Pioneers, but there you go, got him caught out, and then with the flamethrower Puma back, taking hits from the T-70 and some other things there, close to death. Got pursuing, continually MD-42 moving up, hit Puma's moving to the centre of the map. And we can see that Jesulin just falls back, the Pumas realises he's just not going to have a good chance of without getting destroyed, and he's not going to try and waste his Puma here, deciding basically that unit preservation is the better part of valour. And I think that's a good call there. Some players will try and just get the other unit destroyed and risk losing their own, but in this case, if it doesn't pay off, they're usually then much more in trouble. But there we go, instead it ends up Aimstrong doing the other thing, trying to rush in there, and now gets punished, and now suddenly Jesulin here, by playing more conservatively, is in this case rewarded, because there's actually a reason for it. But there you go, Gartman moving up, he's going to try and get that Puma with the anti-tank rifle out, could get it, oh! Lone Health forced away to retreat with MD-42 firing at the entrance to the shed they were using. Close call here for Aimstrong. Still double Pumas out here for Jesulin, indicates he might have been just, I think, pretty pressured here by the T-7 and the Guardsman. Tactical in the second Puma, just ensure he doesn't lose his first Puma. So a bit of a heavy commitment here to light vehicles by Jesulin. About to lose the T-7, got Pumas moving ahead, including the anti-tank rifle ones. Oh, and the T-7 goes down. Also worth noting, Aimstrong is going for a sniper here to try and bleed out some of Jesulin's forces. An interesting choice. But Magnus also might be able to help with all these machine guns, which Jesulin is, I think, making reasonably good use of here against Aimstrong and the third tank corps. So what will Jesulin or Aimstrong do in response to this? I mean, double Puma is actually going to be a bit of a headache for him to deal with. I mean, to an extent, I think lock down most of his light vehicle plans, since the double Pumas can, in most cases, counter all of them easily. Just going to need either field guns, as you need to pose ahead for some T-35 to really challenge the double Puma. So it will be interesting to see how Aimstrong sort of decides to go about doing that. Or he just decides on the highly unorthodox, I'd say in this case slightly insane option, just trying to ignore the Pumas. Whoa, good hit from the Puma, wipes 3 Puma troopers in 1 hit from its 50mm gun. Look, Dietrich, I did it! 3 and 1, 3 and 1! Yeah, cool it! We got other Russians to shoot as well. So now they're moving about 2 kills so far. Guardsman shows the MD-42. The result is a very swift and ruthless suppression of the Guardsman. Then it is quickly moving past them, getting to the church, and lastly denying position there for the Guardsman to hide out in. Bit of fighting on the southern munitions. Aimstrong remaining a bit on the defensive. Getting it up. I think some tech here to push against something heavier versus Jesulin. Puma to the rescue in the south. However, a bit belated. Back here, reinforcement, healing going on here for Aimstrong's men. Up north, Grenadiers moving further forwards. Not a lot of machine guns by yet here for Jesulin's Grenadiers, who please I think benefit from the upgrading them, would help them versus the penal troops, even the guardsmen. And there we go, interesting move here by the Puma. I think he was trying to catch a sniper, decided to ignore the penal troopers here, mostly because, well, they can't hurt them. Of course, in this case, though, he could have been punished if Aimstrong upgraded with anti-tank rifles a bit sooner. But that's just those things. In the south here, Pioneers repulsed with 2 points wide. Still, Jesulin's much bigger lead now here versus Aimstrong. A lot less good for him. A lot less good. Penal going for the Grenadiers up in the north, pushing them back here. Troops in reinforcing, mechanized armor company up there for Aimstrong. Pioneers repulsed, double Pumas firing away. North we got the Strafniki going for the Grenadiers. Successfully forcing them off. As the guardsmen advance for the church, looking for easy targets. In this case, Pumas. But Aimstrong would like to be able to go for T-45 almost as he's done with the mechanized armor company, in which case the Pumas will find themselves struggling a bit more. The double Pumas might still have a slight chance. It's still going to be a tough climb there for Aimstrong. I think Jesulin's Puma to take it out. In particular, if Aimstrong ensures to keep the T-45 supported by his anti-tank troops. And there you go, good kill on the Grenadiers. First Gatland machine gets up finally here for Jesulin as well. And the 8th Panzer Division. Grenadiers down to close to half health. Up north, Puma falling back in the face of the Strafniki. And further southwards, we got a few Grenadiers poking about here for Jesulin, supported by a Pioneer squad with minesweepers. Taking no chance of their T-45 on the way though for Aimstrong in the 3rd Tank Corps. Machine gun in an exposed position here, to be honest. Fortunate for Jesulin, other snipers down south helping dealing with the Grenadiers from an LMG. There you go, more machine gun crews dropping dead, and Pioneers with flamethrower forcing out Aimstrong there. And we got a command tank up for Jesulin here, command tank with double Pumas, in some ways potent, but still might struggle with the T-45, in particular if again Jesulin or Aimstrong supports properly. That could give Jesulin a headache. Dug in the south, T-45 then mobilized. Up north, Engineers pushing forwards. Should be able to see now, of course, that Jesulin's got the command tank out there, so at least show that little shield floating above their heads. And a veteran infantry squad lost, quite lost there for Aimstrong. Not easily replaceable. T-45 coming in, Puma being pushed back. Other Puma heavily damaged, command tank isolated. There's a good chance, I think, for Aimstrong to destroy some of Jesulin's things here. There you go, Puma's very likely, I think, to bite the dust here. There we go, main gun out. Main gun out. Trying to escape with a Puma and no dice. Oh, it missed a point blank. Sika Bliat Petrov. What have you been drinking? Antifreeze again. And there we go. Puma down, and the T-45 suffered next to no damage in the process. And then proceed to risk it here as the Grenadiers with the Panzerfaust trying to, I think, get the Pioneers. Oh, it failed to penetrate? Wow. Nice, some extreme luck there for Aimstrong, since the Panzerfaust does have a good chance of penetrating the T-45's armor, but in this case it did not. Grenadiers down to less than half health. T-45 with a headshot bounces. Bad news there for Jesulin. He's going for the pack forward to assist him as the T-45, but even then, the situation just got a bit uglier for him. Just a bit. Meanwhile, now Aimstrong gets more successful fix stall for more T-35s, which will put Jesulin in an even pricklier situation. He's going to have to take up, and he's going to have to think to bring up some Stoogs, or he could even consider maybe taking for Panthers, so that would be pretty risky and require, I think, at least a fuel cache in the current circumstances. Though I think Aimstrong could also benefit from a fuel cache, so that way, assist in getting him out more T-35s faster. He's grabbing the cut-off point there again. Aimstrong forces most situations in such a manner he can't actually punish Jesulin for that, he can react to it very easily. Instead he's occupied around here, and there you go, Pack 40 opening up on the T-35, penetrating hit from the Panzer up there, Kanone 40. And he should probably retreat that guards squad before it is too late. In the southeast, we got Jesulin flank behind, pushing up behind the penal troops. Very good move there, very good move. Nice stuff there from
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Jesulin. T-5 being fixed up. Pretty close to the front line there, to be honest. Bit risky there, bit risky if Jesulin starts to get aggressive. And again, the cut point has been hit, which prevents Aimstrong from easily pushing out another tank. We've got more guardsmen. I mean, Aimstrong's going very heavy in the infantry here. That is 5 infantry squads, 2 guard squads, and 3 penal trooper squads. I mean, that's quite a few there. Quite a few. But there you go, the T-35 is more or less good to go, but he's even then he can't afford to wait much longer. His nice fuel point is directly being threatened as well here by Jesulin and his merry band of marauders. Telemines being laid down here. Lots of telemines by Jesulin. Very good, very good. Almost got a wipe there. Or at least caught a hit there. Mine spotted just in time. Lucky there for Aimstrong. Oh, his T-35 would have been a pretty easy target there. Still on take step, we got Panzer gun here for Jesulin. Cancels it. And is that actually take up? Yes, indeed it is take up. And spot the other mine to wreck that as well. Aimstrong, I think, has Jesulin a bit more on defense, but he's gotta take some time for him to get the fuel back in order, though. And he's still behind Jesulin in terms of victory points. So there are a few things there to be mindful of. A few things to be mindful of. Command turn there opening halfway to Veteran C1. Pack 40 watching here. I mean, overall defensively, this is sort of decent position. Though if Aimstrong were to get artillery, he could easily clear this out of smoke it. So in some ways, I probably would prefer Jesulin slightly spreading out his defense around, just allowing it to be like this. But again, I mean, if Aimstrong just attacks head on as well, it's going to work out. Oh, lost the penal squad here inside the church. It's now clearing out the Pack 40. Also another reason to be a bit more careful about positioning your defense like this. It becomes a lot easier, for Aimstrong just to move up with a sniper and shoot it to bits. Aimstrong needs to be careful not to extend his T-35. And I do think Aimstrong actually should consider hitting more, so that'd be really good versus these machine guns plus the Pack 40. Of course, it does have the risk of telling, well, it already knows potentially the gas from the T-35, though it's gone for guard motor, so there's not even really a reason to, go for it there like this, the element of surprise. Grenades off, and almost got a weapon in the Grenadiers. Reasonable, reasonable. Now the T-35 on the way there for Aimstrong. Most of the final those increasingly sending just here and hit the dirt, very nice. It's having the ability which is catching on more and more with certain players as they realise this is actually pretty good with the guardsmen, though it's not all, and generally more higher ranked players like Aimstrong who knows how to use it well, I think. So we'll see how that ends up. There you go, the Puma creeps up, gaining veterans you do. Another hit there. And of course, the way he's using it is in fact the very reason why they stopped production of Puma, since they were, they'd be used like tanks. They're supposed to be reconnaissance vehicles. And, they're not meant to take on tanks. And again, that's how they actually commonly used in company use, which is sort of, running. And again, what's the primary reason they stopped production? To focus on other sort of designs of the armored car. So, fun fact. People are being suppressed by the MD-42. And there we go. Double T-35 going in for the command tank. Jesulin extending his command tank there. Has left him woefully exposed. There we go. Almost got it. Ooh, Shots missing. Got another Puma out here for Jesulin. He suddenly has to call it in because otherwise he's going to lose everything. And even then he might still lose. Holy smokes! And everybody out of the antifreeze all of a sudden? Like they're just missing left and right. There you go. Got the Puma. Pack wipe. The Sniper doing some good work there. Command tank. He's too late. Still he got a Puma. Still got a command tank. There was still, I think that fight could have gone a lot better had those T-35 crews, or gunners specifically, not been in the bloody antifreeze. But I like antifreeze. It reminds me of home. Home? Where are you from? Siberia. Oh. Lots of engineers. In fact, Aimstrong's taking some quite heavy infantry losses, down to like from 5 to 3 infantry squads. And he's not quite been able to have the impact on Jesulin's infantry force comparatively. So again, I feel like Aimstrong handled this incorrect. I mean, he just kept attacking headwards rather than trying to find another angle to attack from the sort of more, shall we say, efficient, and had a chance of resulting in high casualties without necessarily taking immediately a lot of fire. So instead, I don't know, it just feels like not the best attack there by Aimstrong. We should have supported by a heavy mortar to lay down a smoke screen. You know, that would at least that way I think covered up the tanks from a lot of incoming fire as well. 200 points left there. Jesulin assault here, I think is all good. He's got the machine to cover up here as well. Makes it hard for Aimstrong just to push back as well. Go with the infantry already pushed back. He's going to have to fall back in a more orderly fashion without necessarily just panicking. But it kind of looks like they've got the Pack 40 ready, and there we go. Almost got the second Puma. And he's finally been able to take up. He's finally been able to get the support corps. We got the T-35 heading eventually to Bolo, which is really good. Increased rate of fire there, which is always good. Potentially one of the Russian main advantages with their tanks. Adventually, they tend to fire very, very fast. Since they just gain a higher rate of fire, though. Interesting enough, so the tank crews were never great on rate of fire. That was actually more of a German thing. And I believe the Germans sort of had a rule where it's like, you know, for every shot they fired off, you know, or 2 shots they fired, the Russian might get off 1 or something like that. I can't quite remember it. But it's sort of funny, it's more the Russians who get sort of high rate of fire compared to the Germans, who again were quite good at it. But then again, if the Germans had both high rate of fire and good armour, that'd certainly be some issues. Anyways, fun little notes there. Trying to mine up here, aggressive mining. He's also finally put some more pressure on the north and the south. This is also very good for Aimstrong. Yes, be careful, doesn't get too focused in here. Tunnel vision is always a hazard for players, even high-ranking players like Aimstrong can suffer the issue of it. It's particularly again later games with just slowly fatigue setting in, and you're more likely to just get stubborn about things, which is usually the thing you have to cover. There you go, wipe the machine gun, but the C-55 is getting hammered again. And he's some time off from the next one due to the rasp and all the other things that have been happening here throughout the fight. And he also should consider some more infantry. Retreat the guardsmen! Retreat! Back in, nothing further going on there for him yet. We got a Stug on the way there for Jesulin and the 8th Panzer Division of North Air machine gun just tearing into the engineers. A ruthless volley that shows no mercy. Sniper there with 25 kills, having an impact there for Aimstrong. Might in fact be most of his kills there. Probably, but there's actually able to have a good sort of kill-death ratio here with the Jesulin. That's probably large part, I think, due to the Pims from the Guardsmen, which do a real trade a lot better with Grenadiers and such. Plus, of course, the T-35 as well is also, I think, been quite impactful here for Aimstrong. Another kill there. Grenadiers down to 3 man. And he's not too far from another T-35. Sturmgeschütz 3 SVMG on the way here. Grenadiers being pushed back to the T-35. And there we go. Sturmgeschütz. Die besten Geschütz arriving here for Jesulin. Check out the pinlight machine gun. It's cheap and overall just adds a nice bit of machine gun firepower. It's essentially a light machine gun with good range for the Stug, and another T-45 on the way here for Aimstrong. Very good, very good. Sniper continues just to murder away there. 29 kills, very close to the feet. Teams will need to be careful for them, and with the anti-tank rifles, they do trade less favourably. This is up Grenadiers now. Guardsmen going at it with the Stug. T-5 going up, posting back the Pioneers. Stug needs to open up, and the Guardsmen need to fill up fully. Because without machine gun, that's just pointless, just not shoot at them at all. Needs to pull it back fully. Looks like Jesulin struggling a bit to maintain everything that's going on. Aimstrong making several pushes, and there you go. Another T-55 arrives here for the 3rd Tank Corps. Lots of mines are consistently from Aimstrong, very nice to see. I think we'd like to see a heavy mortar out. I mean, again, it'd be able to punish it just parking at this corner of the map a lot of the time and just smoke up or mortar it directly. Either way to make it harder here for Jesulin just to use that easily. Sturmgeschütz making repairs. Aimstrong making good use of his guardsmen here versus Jesulin. And he's going for double snipers now. That's an interesting choice at this stage of the game, I think, for Aimstrong. Again, I do really prefer, personally, I think, a heavy mortar here. Again, I mean, I'm not a fan of snipers, then the mortars just, I think, offer more tools versus Jesulin in this situation here. In particular, in terms of just negating some of all Jesulin's long-range stuff, like the Stugs and the Puma. Whereas the sniper packs of machine guns, they can't so much help mitigate the range of the Puma and the Stug. Whereas, again, heavy mortar smoke would be more than able of doing that. Oh wait, double snipers. T-55 they're shattering the grenadiers, so they're caught in a really bad spot. He almost got a wipe ahead. I think kept the guardsman then hit the dirt mode a bit longer. He probably could have done it actually. Close, but no cigar. North of the guardsman being utterly demolished here by the veteran for the MG42. I mean, really do not underestimate that, particularly with the incendiary pistol rounds and ambush camouflage. I mean, that's a really lethal MG42. Thankfully, though, for Aimstrong, Jesulin's got for mobile defense. He can't risk facing ambush machine guns. There you go, good hits on the T-55. Need to fall back. He's actually caught in a really bad spot. Bit of poor terrain there to move in through, and oh dear, he's gonna lose it. No. Holy sickabliat. That was close. And the South Grenadier standing about, and there you go, sniper hitting that T-331 kills. Other sniper back to move straight into just an execution squad here from Jesulin. Need to retreat both snipers. Ah, oh, lost it. He went for the sniper, then lost it. Oh dear. Didn't even get a single kill. That is a massive blow to Aimstrong in the late game. Again, I feel like Heavy Mortars here would be just another bit of reason, because again, with so much going on, like just having 2 snipers now, it's going to be a lot harder for Aimstrong to manage. Whereas again, a Heavy Mortar can be positioned much more safely, and again, you just provide more, tools, and again, safer tools. So I really feel like you should just go for the 120mm mortar there. But that T-55 is almost the ace level. Jesulin's able to push back here again. The double sniper gambit. Hell, even more guardsmen I think would be better here than snipers. It's just allowed him to push ahead aggressively. We've got a sniper on the way for Jesulin. Plus he still has those 2 machine guns, including again the ace machine gun. Also very important, he's shifted the machine gun's position. I mean, once he's been attacked, he shifts the machine gun to ensure that if Aimstrong then tries to clear out, assuming it's there, it's not there anymore. So I mean, again, even if you're going to use your machine gun statically, you got to sort of shift them back from time to time to make it harder for your opponent, so they just easily deal with them. Unless of course they send in a tank, in which case your machine gun's kind of buggered either way. But to an extent, that might then even be what you want. I mean, you want to force your opponent to send your tanks up there, stuff like that. And in this case, you would also then want to be somewhat prepared for it, so at least have something to counterattack. Didn't quite where Stug is moving in. Telegram make 2 points in the south as well. Big 2 points, 71 versus 317. Aimstrong might be setting up. No, he's going for the Katyusha now. He's going for artillery that way. I mean, that can work, but again, personally, I think I'd overall prefer the 120mm version of the solution. Go to from the Puma on the T-55. We got flares up here though from Aimstrong. Very nice, very nice. Moving in the T-45. Katyusha halfway done. There you go, Panzerfaust on the T-45, damaging the engine, leaving the T-45 in a bit of bad spot. There you go, Snowback to rule itself. And almost got up in the Grenadiers. The south, bit of a larger push here by Jesulin. The counter-attack left for 2 Grenadier squads. Guards from the south and get Katyusha almost down there. Go, Rife Grenade off, and I think that was actually a bait. He was just trying to force a neat retreat, and then he caught him on a retreat there, but that didn't quite work out there. Note that again, guardsmen hit the dirt are just actually quite potent with the light machines. You can see the Grenadiers are about to get wiped out. Oh, Jesulin jam there for Jesulin. Almost wiped the Grenadiers though. Panzer on the way for Jesulin now. No additional Sturmgeschütz. We got the Katyusha out here for Aimstrong. Katyusha almost ready to fire. Note there were numerous versions of the Katyusha rocket launcher, and in fact there's some that fire very heavy rockets. I think sort of roughly in the range of the Stuka-Sufus, which fires sort of 30cm rockets. These I believe are around 13cm. Yes. 13.2 centimeters specifically. Another fun fact is the Waffen-SS actually copied the rockets from the Katyusha and actually used them on their own sort of versions of the Panzerwerfer. Though the 21st Panzer Division also got to use some in Normandy. It's a little fun fact there. And that's actually something you don't hear much about, you know, the Waffen-SS directly copying the Katyusha rockets. But there you go, almost got the Pack 40 of the Katyusha barrage. I mean, nice use of the flare bar combined with it, wipes the Pack 40 very good. Side charge from the Panzer IV. Oh, Scheiße. Helmut, I told you to be careful. Don't get too close to the Russian infantry, and then you get too close, you dummkopf. There you go, hits on the Puma, almost half. It actually is half off roughly. There you go, pop smoke. Machine gun could go down. Need to care for the T-55 Panzer IV that goes down. Machine gun eradicated. Ace T-55 needs to get out of there. Victory Point though is blocking a safe retreat, but he's almost got the Stug. Stug gains Victory 2. And falls back here. Ace T-55 falling back. Got the T-55 going in. They need to be careful with the Puma. And, oh, T-55 shoots. Oh, main gun out, but the main gun is also out on the Puma. Trying to get the Stug keeper, gets Panzerfausted to death. No, doesn't get enough Panzerfaust. Stug escapes. Ace T-55 escapes. Keeps going at it with the Stug of the T-55. Misses the Stug. Stug gets a good hit. Oh, this is tense. The Stug bounces a shot from the T-45 and he gets the main gun out. The Stug actually... What the hell? Aimstrong's T-45 limps away, terrified at the chain of events that just happened right in front of its eyes. Guards are moving up. They might just be able to cover the retreat. Stug goes in. No! Jesulin 9. Whew, he pops smoke and falls back rather than risk the Stug. But you rarely see its Stug bounce anything. Veteran 2 does have a slightly higher chance. It has roughly the same armor as a Panzer IV without veterancy. But even then, not even quite. Then it's just below the threshold, actually. T-55, the ace fixed up. Need to be careful there. The Katyusha is actually highly exposed there. Highly exposed. And he's sending in the ace. He's rushing it in there. Oh, no, Aimstrong. You've gone nuts. There you go. That was just complete. Oh God, I can understand to an extent why you did it again. That was a really bad call there. That was a really bad call. And that technically it's the second time he's done it again. And again, it's in that sense, it's the opposite of Jesulin. He's a lot more prudent about these things. He doesn't just, make these short-term calls to rush in units and just, get a wipe. He thinks long-term here. And Pioneers almost got them all wiped. But even then, that's not worth an ace T for the 45. That was just an incredible loss. Also now, of course, giving out his Katyusha position, which is, as you might notice, really exposed. Another T for the Aimstrong, but still, that was an acey for a way like that. That is really not good. And there you go, might lose his Katyusha to the Grenadiers. Oh dear, that was a pathing mess, I think. That Katyusha just doing 180, if not 360 degree turn. And now there's another problem. The T-55 blocks the escape of the Katyusha. Oh, he's going to lose it, isn't he? No, he gets away. No, he gets off another Panzerfaust. And the Katyusha goes down to Grenadiers. Rubbish luck here for Aimstrong. And again, some of it I would say is partly his own fault. Stug, you need repairs with the Pioneers are, shall we say, for the most part, splattered across the Stug, and thusly not able of repairing. Smart find the Grenadiers. We've got a DP light machine gun drop in the open. So he's actually gone for a third snipe and lost his ace snipe. Oh! Mine went off, and I think that was his own mine, actually. Meaning something set it off. T-55 number 2 heading northwards here. Command tank pushing back. The guard squad anti-tank rifles dropped in the dirt. I mean, Aimstrong still got some on the map here, but it's coming at a rather high price. And the thing is that he's not thrown away the T-35 right then and there. I think he'd actually be in a much better position now to control the map. But with the ace basically thrown away like that, Jesulin X has chance now of turning this around again. But right now, the Aimstrong is in control. But again, that ace being destroyed there is a significant loss. And again, it gives Jesulin, I think, a chance to push back if he plays his cards correctly. I mean, if, just tosses it away. I mean, obviously, it's not going to matter. But if he plays his cards correctly, he might just stand a chance here. Might. Emphasis on might. I mean, Aimstrong still has a bunch of T-35s. He still has Gasp. He still got Pilgrims and the Sniper. But the loss of the ace in the way it did was just absolutely just cataclysmic. I mean, Jesulin could still easily lose this. I mean, Aimstrong still again has a solid force, but so does Jesulin. There we go, we got a head on assault. This is sort of the sort of thing that could, again, be a bit of a problem. Again, the lack of artillery just soften this up. Not good. And there we go, we got the ace Stuttgart here for Jesulin. The ace Sturmgeschütz. The best ace. Oh, such a shot in the pack 40, and pop goes the Weasel, leaving one Grenadier dead, or Pioneer in this case dead. Gatling can't sniper supporting any to retreat. T-Fo's being fixed up very close to the front line. Jesulin being absolutely hammered with everything. Jesulin's got the Stu providing fine support there. Turn to deal here with the T-45s. Sniper spouting. And he's sending in the Stu. Need to be careful there, Jesulin. Force it. It might be a Stu ace, but it's not a Tiger ace. More Pioneers there for Jesulin to repairs. 56 versus 138. This is getting very close. T-First being fixed up. One close to actually 2 again. Snipers moving ahead.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Still just waiting for something to happen. Also, fun fact, the actual Stuka model wouldn't be that big. And Stuka would actually not be that big, Stuka 3D that is. But anyway, Scout now to fire from the Stuka machine gun, they're hammering a Guardsman though gets the pack 40.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
There we go, T-Fed moving up. 132 versus 56, but he's hitting the other victory punch. Very good. And there you go, Grenades almost done. We got the Stuka opening up. I thought so. Shoots, misses. Falling back in the face of the Strafnig, another T-Fed on the way of Aimstrong. 132 versus 51. Pioneers rushing up. PMs will push back.
Victory is slipping from our grasp. We have
50.
50 points remaining.
Another T-Fed on the way there for Aimstrong. Need to remember the rest of the map, though. Need to remember it. Sending one T-45 down there, which can grab Chad, who should first clear out the Grenadiers. And a unit wiped. Snipers dead. And there you go, Guardsmen Grenadiers. We got the Stuka moving up to support the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are taking quite a punishing beating.
T-34 ready for combat.
Puma opening up there. Command tank moving up. There you go, Guardsmen being sawed to bits here by heavy crackshell and other sorts of machine gun fire there. And there you go, Grenadiers trying to harass, but he might just send them into the lines then there to get eaten up by Aimstrong's tanks. And there we go, we got a full armoured platoon there for Aimstrong attacking forwards for the motherland. There you go, straight to the back 40 and the H2 could be critical here. If only tried to flank maybe. But there you go, one T-45 down. Continue to buy space here. Stu really doing a lot of damage here. Almost got another T-45 there, Stu the 10 great hits. Puma, another T-55 down, only one T-55 to deal here. Hits a mine though, right in front of the Stug. And that mine definitely, I think, might just give him the engagement. Yes, and there you go, T-55 goes down to the ace Sturmgeschütz. And with that, Aimstrong just, I think, lost most of his strength there. I mean, he's got a lot of the victory point, but there you go, without the T-55s there. And the fact, Jesulin still got a reasonable force there, he's pretty much out of the game. So, a brutal fight here. Right on, well, Holotny Farmer, a lot of damage, a lot of kills. In fact, ended up with a surge doing more damage And then the Wehrmacht, which usually tend to indicate in some way the Serb play acted it pretty well. Of course, a chunk of it was definitely the snipers. But, I mean, it's not all good here. I mean, obviously, part of the issue for Aimstrong was to an extent he just relied a lot on raw force attacks. And I also think the lack of a heavy mortar really hurt him again. You could easily, for example, had he attacked here with the heavy mortars laying down the smoke screen, the T-55s would suffered a lot less incoming damage from the Puma, the Stuk, and the Pak 4 that allowed him to much more easily rush the position and destroy everything Jesulin had. So, I mean, you could at least consider flanks. In that regard, I think Aimstrong tactics were a bit unsophisticated. They're crude, which gave Jesulin much better chance of dealing with it. As for Jesulin, he should have gone for more Stuks, though. I mean, had he done that, Aimstrong done that, he would have definitely needed more Stuks to defend against it. And I also think some Panzer grenades in there would have been quite helpful. But also a pretty nice fight right here on Hollow Defend between two highly skilled and experienced players. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And if you like what I do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links in the video description. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Bye.